I know I've been gone for a while, but it is another day, another video of the craziness that's going on in society with the ABCD community and all of their nonsense. But as I usually say, I am not going to talk anymore, so let us get into the video.
My next guest, who is Shivani Dave. She is a journalist and a presenter at Virgin Radio, just down the corridor. Good afternoon to you, Shivani.
Good afternoon, Julia. Thanks. You know my pronouns are they, them. How are you doing?
Yeah. Thank you for telling me your pronouns. I use correct grammar, so the only thing I would need to refer you to is to your face would be you. But I'm not being rude. You can choose your pronouns. You can choose what you want to call yourself, but you don't get to require me to use incorrect grammar and factually incorrect things. You're not a plural. You're one person.
I give massive props to this Talk TV presenter, Julie, I believe her name is, for pushing back against this nonsense. And this is exactly what we need more people to do, because the more we have people like Julia doing the things she's doing, saying the things she's saying to people like this, the more other people will begin to follow, and the more we can create a culture where people don't accept this nonsense, because this nonsense has been going on for too long. And I respect this, and I'm surprised that this is being said, because what she is saying is true.
You're a female person, so I will use she and her. Thank you very much.
Do what you like, I guess.
Well, there you are. You didn't need to tell me then, did you?
Maybe I'm just making sure people know in case they're watching and they want to refer to me respectfully.
Is it disrespectful for me to use correct factual grammar?
It's not incorrect or unfactual grammar to use singular they them pronouns for an individual. But we're here to talk about the CAS review.
Yeah, but you chose to bring it up.
You chose to use the incorrect pronouns for me.
I chose to use the correct pronouns for a single woman who is appearing on my show.
I'm not a single woman, though. I'm a very special non-binary trans person, as you just pointed out. I
didn't
really
just point that out. I didn't just point that out. I introduced you as a journalist and a Virgin Radio presenter.
No, just before I came on, you were talking about how people with all these labels like to be special. And I'm just making sure that everyone knows I'm special.
OK, I'm not special. I'm just a boring old heterosexual married woman. But, you know, sorry about that. We're not allowed to do that anymore. In fact, that probably does make me special now. I don't know. Anyway, Shivani, we're colleagues and I obviously want to treat you with respect. But again, for me, respect works both ways. And that also requires people on both sides to be respectful of people's willingness to not want to tell lies or to be dishonest to themselves. So we'll have to respect each other's views on this. Let's talk about Hilary Cass, who's the most important person here. Well, most important person who's actually trying to do something to look after children, in my view. She's a paediatrician. She's the former president of the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health. She's carried out a 4-year review into the services provided for children who believe they are trans in NHS England. It doesn't apply to NHS Scotland, sadly, but she's basically said that the evidence for the treatment of children is weak. It's based on shaky foundations. There is no good evidence for long-term outcomes for the puberty blockers and other treatments. She's called for an end to all puberty-blocking hormone drugs to be given to under 18s. She wants even a more therapeutic, holistic approach to those aged 17 to 25, which is when brain development is still happening. A full pause in any treatment for 16 and 17-year-old new patients. She says there's also no clear evidence that social transitioning, we know that's happening at schools a lot, where teachers are saying, yes, you can be referred to by your preferred pronouns, you can change your gender at school, and you can change your name, even without parents knowing about it. That's against government guidance, but they still allow it. She says there's no clear evidence that social transitioning has positive impact or negative impact on this. Do you welcome her report, Shivani?
I'm just going to go back to what Julia previously said, and I really appreciate her bringing this up. But the ABCD community expect respect from everybody, regardless of how they treat other people. And the hilarious thing about the ABCD community is they expect the people who don't even believe in the nonsense to lie to themselves. They demand respect from us, but do not respect us. They demand you to lie to yourself, go against your morals, all in the name of the feelings of other people. They so much disrespect everyone else that they would want you to lie and go against what you believe in because you want to cater to them. And I appreciate the fact that Julia brought up that specific point, because a lot of people don't actually mention that the ABCD community expects you to compromise your position and your beliefs in order to cater to their feelings. And I'll just leave it here before we get back to the video. They always have a certain look.
I think that the report also highlights some things that could benefit trans healthcare for trans young people massively. I think holistically looking at the healthcare of people aged 17 to 25 is massively beneficial. I think regional services for trans people, it could be beneficial. And I also think the idea that doctors, clinicians will get training and access to more information about how to treat trans young people would massively be beneficial. I think there are some things in the guidance which, if implemented correctly, could really, really help young people who are questioning their gender.
Before we get back into the video, I need everyone to turn on their post notifications so that you get notified whenever one of my videos come out. Like the video as much as possible, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. Let us get back into the video.
Wondering about whether or not they've got a trans identity, and even trans themselves. I think that there's definitely stuff in there that, if implemented correctly, and bearing in mind that the people implementing this stuff are going to be medical professionals, doctors, nurses, people like that, and they are trying their best to think about the welfare of their patients.
Well, if they've been, hold on a minute,
young people who.
If medical professionals have been doing that all along, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now, where we have a report pointing out that most of what has been done over the last 10 or so years is not evidence-based, as does huge damage, and actually is not making lives better, and certainly not the health of young children better who believe that they are trans.
Well, if you look at what lots of trans people have been talking about when it comes to the former service, GIDS, gender identity services.
That's the Tavistock, yeah.
In the UK, a lot of trans people have been saying that those services are inadequate. And, in fact, they were reviewed and they were found to be inadequate. And
inadequate as in there were long waiting lists.
What does show is that these services need to be brought up to speed with A, the amount of people, the amount of patients they're seeing, and B, with clinicians and staff who have better training and understanding of what it is that these patients need.
Okay, I mean, inadequate because there was a long waiting list. Thank God there was a long waiting list. That will have saved many children from being damaged with puberty blockers and possibly facing mutilation of their bodies further down the line after being put on that railroad track towards that. I say thank God for that. However, many children have not been saved, in my view. I don't accept there is any such thing as a trans child.
This is what the woke ABCD community do all the time. And if people begin to realize they have done this for years and years and years, and now it's coming into fruition that people are beginning to change words and make up words like this person, a trans child, which there is no such thing as. But because the ABCD community have saturated social media and they've saturated the school systems, they've been allowed to change words and make up words and people not question it. All they do is tell lies and demand for you to respect them while they lie to you and demand for you to go against your beliefs and go against your morals. These people don't care about the truth, and as I have said in previous videos, if the truth was to slap them in the face, they would say it's not the truth.
Who I think are being indoctrinated on YouTube, their parents. I see it again and again. I mean, Carla, who's got in touch talking about having a pansexual child and a trans child. No, you've just got two children who...
Julia, it's great that you have that thought. You can totally have that opinion. Yeah. And it's even more amazing
based on fact.
You, therefore, are not a doctor or any form of medical professional actually implementing any sort of health.
Well, no, you don't have to be a doctor to know that no one is born in the wrong body. This used to be called gender dysphoria, people who believe that they are born in the wrong body. That doesn't mean they are born in the wrong body. It doesn't mean people shouldn't be treated with kindness and respect. And absolutely, one of the things that Hilary Cass is talking about, how we need just holistic therapeutic support. So talking
Julia,
to people,
it kind of sounds like you're saying
them.
that being trans or having a trans identity doesn't really exist.
People can have a trans identity, but no one is born in the wrong body. Your body is your body.
Correct, yeah. So, but people can feel more comfortable with their bodies after receiving treatment.
Some people do. Actually, the evidence is pretty clear where there has been, and there's been very little follow-up on people who've been treated, that actually many people feel very much more unhappy afterwards because they don't know the full implications of either the puberty blockers or the...
I'd really like to see where you get that figure from, though, because
I didn't give a figure.
People regret getting knee surgeries as opposed to people who...
People don't choose to get knee surgery when there's nothing wrong with their knees, do they? That's a silly argument.
Gender-affirming care if there's nothing, going on with their gender.
Nothing going on with their gender. No, this is a mental health issue. Not to say it's a mental illness, but a mental health issue. In the same way, someone who has an eating disorder who believes that their body is too fat when actually it's painfully, possibly morbidly too thin, we don't affirm their views and we don't help them get thinner. We try to help them to treat their body more healthily. So I don't know why we should treat this any differently. Let me
would your suggestion be people who are trans or people who are seeking gender affirming healthcare shouldn't get that treatment and should be talking about it in therapy, for example, because that's a form of conversion therapy?
Yes, of course, I knew. Yes, that is what, and that's what many people are arguing, and it's a load of abject nonsense. Children, 100% shouldn't have any of this sort of treatment. I stand by that.
As usual with these people, they just talk absolute nonsense. And Julia once again brought up a great point with body dysmorphia. People who have body dysmorphia, we don't go around affirming their body dysmorphia and saying that's fine that they feel that way. We try and steer them off that path and say that what they're seeing is not correct. But it's very ironic that people who have gender dysphoria, we try and affirm their gender and say that what they think is actually correct and that they actually are born in the wrong body, which is absolute absurdity. Anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoy the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on X at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.